Hi, everybody. Welcome. This is Love and Light with Crystal Blue Oracle, healing as a tribe and taking responsibility for it. And we're on Transformation Talk Radio. And I'm Valerie Trujillo. Tune in with me every second and fourth Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Mountain, where we talk about everything metaphysical, anything that'll help you heal, and maybe see this life in a different, more profound way. Today, I'm happy to have Kris Gibbs, Angel Intuitive, here to talk about her relationship with the angels, her intuitive gifts, and how she started. And just so you know, my connection with Kris, she is the person who did my reading, who got me started on my journey, and she's one of my mentors and friends. And everybody wants you to welcome Kris Gibbs. Hi, Kris.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm so good, excited that you're here.
I'm excited too. I know when you asked me, I just had a little light up saying yes. The more people I can talk to and connect with, the same as you. It's like we touch lives. We never know how we're going to touch them.
Exactly. I thank you so much for being a guest on my show. I want to ask you, first of all, tell everybody, how did you become an intuitive? Have you been one all your life?
I have been one all my life. And I have a very unusual kind of story. Basically, I grew up in Kansas, a little Kansas girl. But when I was 13 and saw Colorado, I was like, yeah, I saw the mountains and said, that's where I'm going to live when I grow up. I have been here now 34 years in Colorado Springs. Absolutely love Colorado. I've traveled all but 4 of the United States. However, have I been intuitive? Yes. I basically in 5th grade was telling my mom what was going to happen. And you didn't do that in a little town of Kansas. Certainly not in the 1960s, which is that kind of sets me for my age. And with my dad as a school teacher of the town, a very responsible being, my mom actually put me on Valium, on tranquilizers to shut me down, because every day I would wake up and tell her what was going to happen the next day. When it started happening and becoming true, she had to find a way of shutting me down. I got very sick that whole year, but I don't really remember being on tranquilizers. However, when I was in my probably mid-20s to later, early 30s or so, I could remember every year but my 5th grade. And I asked my mom, and she goes, well, I have to tell you what we did to you. And I never thought this would come back and bite me in the butt, but it did. And it's going to kind of be, in a sense, in part of the book that I'm writing about angels. But I have done the fairs probably. What really started was me working with church, okay? And when my parents divorced, my mom was a Buddha. She became Buddhist, and my dad was a Christian. And I always was raised with the faith that, and I can't do anything without God. So I have to say that I am blessed with that Christian background as far as being able to have a connection with God. So also I've been through a lot in the last 32 years, everything from teaching high school for 25 years, raising 2 very intuitive children, having signs from above, doing the fairs, getting people in the fairs. I would say I ended up working in a church, and before I knew it, a psychic in the town said, you're taking all of our clients. When I started actually doing a build yourself up self-esteem class, and that was a part of when I was going through my divorce, okay? And that was about 30 some years ago. And from probably 1990 to 1992, but I got into the fairs way back in 1991 or 92, I think. And that's a long time of doing this work. I always hid it, all right? However, and when I really got going with the fairs and would do quite a few of them, I would have kids from the high school that I taught go into the fair and their little jaws would drop, saying, is that really my teacher doing psychic work? Then they were scared and they'd hide their head when they walked beside me. I'd meet many a parent. I actually do have one student, and I have done readings for her as soon as she turned 18, because I always said they had to turn 18 first to have permission. I've done her daughter and her granddaughter as readings for when I go to the fairs. And so that's a long time. As far as wanting to talk, I know that I've always connected with angels. I've always thought everybody could hear things. I hear things, see things, feel things, and know things. I call those the gifts of God. That is a gift of God that an individual carries. They might not agree with my terminology. It's called clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, and clairessential. Essential. Now, there's also from the clairessential or the clairempath, where you see and you smell. Okay, I mean, you taste and you smell. And I've also had my daughter. She has joined me and done 3 of the fairs before she decided to stay home and raise her little one. Now, I've done talks on symbolism of the angels, and it is very true. When there's been times that I thought I would never be able to make it through a certain situation or scared to death, when you have youngins that you as a mom and a grandma, maybe, I don't know if you're a grandma yet.
Yes.
Are you? Yes. That we know our children do not carry the same lessons that we do. And we many times want to save them. We are very worried much of the time if they run into the wrong route, and we're like, God, just shove them back. But in that time that they're running the wrong route, I have been given beautiful big white feathers. Especially when I was like running a bath, I'm like, who finds feathers in their bathtub? I do.
Oh.
Who finds feathers when you walk into a house on the carpet? I do. Okay, so now I'd like to, if I can, I know that I kind of said I could take over.
Mm-hmm.
I am in the middle of, cross my fingers, writing my book, but I've had more time having more fun with my grandsons. So the book is always going to be up here. It will come out when it's supposed to. Everything's in divine timing. But I did want to read a little bit because my angels guided me. Celestials, as a lot of times I call them. I work with Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, and Ariel. And since I retired, Ariel is my playful angel. I work with all of the archangels. And I noticed recently you work with Metatron. And yes, Metatron is one of the big ones. And Melchizedek is also coming back, which is ancient wisdom. All right. And you will be working with that angel soon. I'm sorry I had to sneak in some wisdom for you personally.
Not a problem. I welcome it anytime.
Yes. Okay. Because your ancient wisdom of having been on earth many times will surface soon. Do know that. But I'd like to read, if it's okay with you, read a little section of my book. And it really talks about my car accident I had. My son is 35. He just turned 35 last year. He'll be 36 this year. When he was 13, he and I were in a car accident where we sped 5 times across I-25 in a rainstorm. We ended up landing on the side of the road with 18 cars stopped. During the time that first car hit us, into the time when we had somebody open our door to see if we were okay, they said there was close to 8 to 10 minutes of timing. My son had his own visit of heavenly realm, and I had mine. So eventually I'll include his, but this is a part of the knowledge of, I kind of channel some of this, but I'd like to read a little bit, and it kind of shares and shows what I do now. And everybody that's had a near-death experience or an NDE, they all have it differently. However, in my angel talks, I did connect with the angels and was held by God. Everybody has different experiences, but from that time, it has changed my life to want to share more about the angelic realm, connections with the angels and our loved ones, because so many times people just need that I guess that hope in their heart to know when somebody has crossed over, their soul is always alive. However, their body is not until they choose to come back again. And I don't ever tell anybody what religion to be. I don't tell anybody whether to believe in angels or not, but I do know they help you as long as you ask them. And they are in alignment and connected with God in the heavenly realm very closely. I have seen them with my own eyes. I have felt them, and I've also seen them in the heavenly realm. So with your permission, can I read a portion of my book?
Of course. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so it says, once an individual has gone to the other side, to heaven and back to earth, they are changed individuals. Many people are more spiritual. Now, there are stories about people that have gone to hell, but it's what you believe in that carries you where you go. Even the book I believe it's called Proof of Heaven. I cannot remember the author. I'm not supposed to advertise, but there is a book and many books of other people that have been there and back. Okay. And then it says, they simply know that another level of love, which is very unexplainable on earth, exists on the other side. And in fact, on the other side with the angels and the heavenly realm, there's only positive. They don't experience the negative. We get to choose that here on earth with what I want to call the best of both worlds. Okay. Greater lessons to learn. Basically, they simply know that another level exists, which is unexplainable on earth, exists on the other side. Many people call this place home because they've been there. So we call it home. I like that term, but it's not what I call it because I'm here on earth and I love playing on earth.
Exactly.
However, it's the heavenly realm. I went to the other side. When I went to the other side, I heard the most beautiful angels sing. It's unexplainable. I felt like I heard the most beautiful angels sing. I felt like I was being loved and comforted, and that this experience, this feeling would never, never end. Time does not exist there. It's simply a feeling of forever happiness, love, and joy. Now, joy and happiness is kind of fleeting moments here. Love has such variety of meanings here. There, it is unexplainable. It is just always there. You have an all-knowing of everything. So different on earth. We are beautiful souls that are simply experiencing a life in a human body on the earthly plane. This life, as we very well know, ends at some point. What happens is after we die has been one of the greatest mysteries of our life, and it will carry on and continue to be that way. I truly wish that all humans, all of humanity, can actually experience a moment on the other side, a sneak peek of heaven. As I say, if I did, they would be a sneak peek of heaven. As I say, if humanity did get this sneak peek, they would be more at peace with all of their world. I know that my path changed greatly after that moment in heaven. My intuitive abilities became much stronger. I've always heard voices in my ears, and my mom even told me that I was put on Valium during my 5th grade year because I kept telling her and my dad what was going to take place every day, and it started happening. According to my father, being a devout Christian and a school teacher in Kansas, that was not what little girls should do, according to my mom. Now, she was also afraid I was going to be put in an insane asylum, which at times they would do that for others. They do not do that in today's time, as far as I know, but you have to be careful on who you talk to. We all know that. But the doorways are opening for many to understand more and more. It says, my mother, being a psychic herself, she had muddy water dreams. And in those dreams, she always knew that somebody was going to die in the family. Many times I would still get phone calls, are you alive? And more recently, in the last 10 to 15 years, her intuitiveness, as in her 70s and 80s, has gotten higher. She doesn't call the immediate family. She just kind of knows who it is. And that's been a proof that we've all been moving up intuitively as we're going forward on earth. Now it says, my mom, being a very psychic herself, felt it was best to try to shut me down. I certainly knew that when I had children, I would encourage their gifts if they had them, and whatever that might be. Now I still hear, and I have encouraged that for both of them. Okay. It says, the grandkids are even more intuitive. It's very scary, in case you didn't know that. I wanted to throw that in, although I haven't written about that yet. Okay. Yeah. They come through in dreams to me. They tell me what's going to happen before, like confirmations for me, things like that already. It's amazing how this downline, works. And now my next paragraph is, I still hear voices. That's why I am very much called a walking channel. I thought everybody heard voices no matter where they go. Now, people receive signs from that feeling, that knowing, that seeing, that hearing. However, it says, let's see, I'm also a medium, which means I hear the voices of loved ones and spirit guides on the other side. Now, when someone actually said, Kris, do you know you're a medium? I said, no, I'm a size small. They're like, no, a medium, like hearing on the other side. I'm like, what? Oh, I thought everybody could do that. No, okay, I guess I'm special. Okay, that was kind of how it was, that I didn't really know what that mediumship was, because for such a long time, I was sharing the voices on the other side, whatever came to me. And it wasn't all the time. It's just not like like when you do a phone call to somebody, sometimes you can get through and sometimes you can't. But many loved ones will know when I'm doing a session on someone, they want to get their foot in, they want to say something to it. It's very important. Okay. Now, the next part is that I hear voices of loved ones and spirit guides on the other side. Now, having crossed over, it seems very natural for me to be able to talk, which is actually listening to their thoughts, but we call it talking because it is, it's thoughts that we're hearing all the time. But how do you explain that to someone? Because their talks can have distinct personalities and distinct differences than your own voice. But many times when you start hearing voices, it could be sounding like your own voice. And not everybody knows that. Okay. Yeah. But it says to individuals in the heavenly realm and bring their messages to those on the earthly plane. Many people have asked me, how do you do it? Okay. Oh, I don't really know. It just happens. However, all I can say is that the trust level between both worlds are within me. So when I think of a question, I get an answer instantly. And I trust that answer is what I must share to that individual. So the basis of truly, now I can't say that everybody's a medium, but I would say that everybody has gifts from God in seeing, hearing, feeling, or knowing if they truly want to look for that. And they're given those gifts per what their purpose in life is. Keep that in mind. Now, from that gift of just trusting, the more you trust, the more you're able to deliver. And us humans have never had a course or a class in trust. No. Have we? No. It's from family, from friends, from relatives, from relationships. Oh my goodness. However, I did a lot of practicing and knowing that when I was given so many opportunities, many times people would say, Kris, you're so there and you don't even believe in yourself. And even I had issues with self-esteem due to my childhood, but I am surprised that a majority of the intuitive people I've talked to, most of them had to break barriers to be as good as they are. So keep that in mind. Yep. If you've had a tough childhood or a rough life or you didn't trust, this is a breakthrough you've got to get through, to trust that feeling or trust that voice or trust that, just know, how do I know? Okay. All of that. So continuing with my story, I am simply the messenger. And I love the way they said it. I am the radio waves between the unseen world and the earthly world.
That's
what
cool.
We are. Yeah. Many people can do this, but simply do not trust what they think or they hear. I have been hearing voices since I was born. Believe it or not, I thought everybody would hear the jingles in my head or the voices that would say, hurry, run, like, don't do this. Get it. Aren't you hearing your voices? They didn't have it. Okay. And I said, I thought that all humans could hear voices. But later I learned that all these humans, that I learned not all humans have the gift from clairaudient, from God. Many humans call it a curse. Okay. And I'm sure that many humans have been committed to the psych wards because of their gifts when we think of the turn of the centuries. Yeah. I am amazed that our Joan of Arc survived, even though she got burned. She was one of those people that heard voices, just in our history. Continuing, I have learned to trust my thoughts and my guides. And I have a friend that calls them the celestials. I just call them my big archangels, my guides, it says, I have learned to trust my thoughts and have been guided to assist others with my gift of hearing, seeing, feeling, and knowing. I've been told I'm quite detailed and accurate with my messages. I think it's from my clairaudient, from many clients, all right? And then I put this was at the time that I had written part of this. So that I had started my book 7 years ago, because it said, I've done this now 34 years. So It says after 25 years, and I should say now 34 years of intuitive walking, of doing the intuitive work and walk, positive responses from people, I've decided that maybe it's my path. It's what I'm supposed to be doing. All right. Not just teaching. It's my path in life. Okay. What one calls their purpose in life. All right. I give hope and enlightenment, because people say, what do you do? And I said, I give hope and enlightenment. I talk to the other side. So I say I give hope and enlightenment to all clients that I give readings to. Sometimes they don't ask for it and I bark on them. I try not to, but sometimes it just happens. All right. And I said, I try to empower individuals on the path of their spirituality. So that will be kind of reworded and worked. But when the angel said, you have something in your book of angel writing that you need to share, they zoomed me right on into what I had to grab. And that was like 20 minutes ago, girl.
I believe it, yeah.
And I was like, okay, maybe I just need to read this to tell people what I do. What questions can I answer for you? Because I can share of much of what you do talks on, like symbols of the angels, or I don't know if you wanted any experiences more that I've had, like when my daughter's dad, my ex-husband, died, and there were swirls of butterflies, over 100, swirling me all the time. I did pit stops on the way back home from New Mexico's fair.
Really?
Oh,
That's
yes.
really cool.
And how he talks to me all the time and comes in my dreams, and how individuals on the other side, the angels, say they have to go to a school to be able to communicate back with us. And that many light workers, or people that say that they really do the intuitive work, we're not little candles like my little candle of mine. We are lighthouses, and people that have crossed over, that are caught in the different worlds before they go over, or even if they're over and they come back, they will find the one in the family that carries the light, the brightest light.
Awesome. That is so cool. Questions I have would be, technically you've retired from the fairs, but you're still doing readings. So I want people to know how they can get a hold of you. So how can they get a hold of you?
Well, people, believe it or not, people get a hold of me through my website. And basically, I've quit doing the fairs because of COVID. The angels said you cannot do it for 2 to 3 years. And they haven't told me, yes, I'll go back or not. But as of this point in time, I'm retired at least through 2021 is what they told me. And they can get a hold of me at a website called Angel Readings by Kris, spelled with a K. So angelreadingsbykris.com. And there's a website there that you can just pop your name and say, hey, I'm interested. I also have, I was going to say, they can go to my greatteach9.com, but usually if they really want to go to my website, they can get a hold of me. They can call me. I don't know if you want me to, am I allowed to put my number? Okay, so it would be 719-362-6935. So it's 719-362-6935. You can text me that way. You can call and leave a message. I do have a home number because I'm not as, I don't do a lot of Zooms, but I have done, I would say, FaceTime. All right. My angels have asked me not to start with Facebook yet because my whole nose would be in it 24/7 and they wouldn't get me focused on the book. So they said, when you get done with the book, yes, we're going to throw that to you. However, I have been teaching tarot to certain individuals doing FaceTime. It's not helpful when you have good friends that want to learn tarot, so you gift them for Christmas and you end up going like, I don't know, 9 sessions, not the regular 4 sessions, because you talk so much about other things and then they need practice time and they don't know who to practice with. So I've carried on and done the practice and it's amazing. Now, I've not done the teaching of Reiki that I do. However, I just recently had 3 people ask me, when would I start doing that again? And I said, we'll just have to wait and see in the fall. Reiki can be taught online, but I don't care to do it. My angels and guides said, if you're going to be teaching Reiki, which I do 1 and 2 together and a master separate, then I would basically be teaching the 1, 2 together in person. Okay. So, and I never even wanted to teach that. And they guided me and they said, we're going to bring you people. Yeah. So for the last, 20 years, I've been teaching that too. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I just feel like getting to know you has helped open me up hugely. And
your daughter.
Yes,
me for interrupting.
You're true. You're right. My daughter, Savannah, She is, she has kind of blown up fantastically. She found out she's is it narcolepsy? Where they fall
Wow.
asleep in a trance. She has that. So she's taking classes now. Besides doing Akashic records, she's doing going to be doing classes on hypnosis to help with regression because she feels that's her calling. And because of the narcolepsy, she's using it. That's going to be her superpower to get in there and help people.
Let her know that let her know regression is better than the hypnosis. However, she's a little logical, so the hypnosis caters to her more. So have her do both, like I did.
Okay, she will. I'm sure she will. She's going to be watching the show, so she's probably jumping up and down, excited and thrilled.
Tell her call in. I'll do a little reading for her if she wants. Yeah.
You'll see if she gets that chance because she has the babies too. Also too, she did Friday and she did the talk on signs and it was awesome. She had 15 people. It was fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. So for me, questions I have. You're ready to, well, like be semi-retired. You're already, that's where you're at now and you're enjoying it and you're loving it. It's an awesome thing because I can see you glowing. Yes. And I can see wings behind you. And they're like saying, we're right here with her.
Yes, totally. But they are kicking my butt. You've got to get this, this book in. And I know we have like 1 minute here to conclude before we have to go to the commercial. However, what I was going to say is that I have my young children are going through some surgeries. So I've got to help them through that. And then they said the book is coming. I should have it done by fall. And that's my goal, is to get it out and going. But we have so many shifts that I know everything always is in divine timing. You had asked about opening something up, maybe they just said you're expanding and your wings are just taking you to a lot of places, but you've got to, whoa, Nelly, slow it down before you jump into too much more.
Exactly.
But pat yourself on the back for all that you have done. So very, very proud of you. And all the people that I got into the fairs, that I've touched their lives, that I've said, hey, do this. It's okay. It's your purpose.
I get it. That's awesome. Everybody, you're listening to Love and Light with Crystal Blue Oracle, healing as a tribe and taking responsibility for it. And we're going to take a short break. And then when we come back, we're going to put the phone number up and hopefully do readings. If not, we're going to just keep on talking. See you in a minute. Perfect. Hi, everyone. We're back. This is Valerie with Love and Light, Crystal Blue Oracle, healing as a tribe and taking responsibility for it. And we're on Transformation Talk Radio. And I'm with Kris Griggs, Angel Intuitive. She's going to be doing 5-minute readings. If you want to call in, they're free. The number is 1-800-930-2819. I'll say that one more time. 1-800-930-2819. So she is ready and willing. If nobody's going to call in, she's going to just read me. So we'll see how that goes.
Unless you had questions about the other side or near-death experiences or angels that you work with.
I have a connection with Metatron, and he's been with me with the readings, and it's been really good. I had just had a really good fair this last weekend. I've connected with deceased loved ones before, but I never really trusted it. And this time I let it go and I trusted everything and I connected really, really well. And I was so thankful. I always felt empowered, but I felt like my light was just like boom. And
right. Yeah. Metatron is an outbreak, and how do I say it? When I first connected with Metatron, because I've worked with Metatron, Metatron came when Archangel Michael introduced me to Metatron, saying, Metatron is much like a person that really has to work with humans, but they also are ones that are connecting with the heavenly realm and the humanity, and how humans can help with the heavenly realm of the earth doing its shifting and shaking. It's moving forward. So because you are opening up the doorways of so many people going to all the fairs and doing all the radio shows and everything you're doing, Metatron is stepping in. But Metatron actually is in downline angelic format, is the best way I'll put it, angelic form from Archangel Michael.
Oh, awesome.
That's what I was told. When I was like, who's this Metatron? I'm sorry, I don't know about Metatron. Michael, I want you to come in. And my first angel that I worked the most with was Gabriel. So I worked with Gabriel almost a good 5-10 years. I worked with Raphael, especially when I was doing all the Reiki. And then Uriel is one that it allows me to do the connection with the other side and back, almost like lightning energy. And they bring me the dreams. So if you want really good, strong, vivid dreams, ask upon Archangel Uriel. But I do love Metatron, because Metatron is one that is here for humanity to help the humans that have the light and the power and the belief system to go out there to share it. Metatron will start working with them so strongly. Now, like I had said before, Macadesiac is an angel of ancient wisdom. And you're going to be connecting with some of this ancient wisdom because much of your past, and they say in your past, your downline, cultural, not just past lives, but I want to call your family lineage. Like if you do ancestor.com and find out all the different places you've lived, and sometimes you're in shock, like, I didn't know I was Irish. Okay, yeah, those kind of things. Or I didn't know I was German. I didn't know I was related to so-and-so. They said much of that is going to be revealed to you, but it's not just that, but it is the sacredness, the holiness, the belief systems that they had to also integrate with you, which is an interesting way of seeing things. It also represents the ideas of what's under the surface of the earth, like the pyramid stages. I don't know if you've heard of Atlantis or Lemuria. They're going to be surfacing. Some of that ancient wisdom will come out.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So you might be asked to help on some of that.
And I will definitely step up there. Like I said, I haven't said no to anything they've told me that they wanted me to do or asked me yet, and I don't plan on it. So
I'm quite different. I argue with them all the time. No, I don't want to get up at 5:55 and write. I will get up at 6:55. Thank you very much. Yes. But that's just me, and they know me. But have I always trusted? Probably not. But once I really got going, I just like, why not trust? It's like, this is what I'm supposed to be here to do. And it just seems so easy and natural. Okay. So
it's comfortable when we're walking around in this 3D world, and it's all about what you know, who you know, and how much you have. And in this world, spiritually, it's about how much you trust.
Yes, it is the trust. And it's, I guess it's one of those things, because I have a part in my book between the 3D level and the 5D level. And the 3D level, we have to still be there and learn to work with it, because we still have bills to pay. We still have our bodies to wash. We still have to feed our bodies. It's basically a lot of that body or that physical part of us. However, there's so much more of the spiritual level that more things start happening. This is a 5-year, it's 2021, 5-year of change, change, change. Now, Chinese New Year is a little different. It's the year of the ox, more like our stubborn Saturns. And don't take me, I'm not Saturn's, Taurus energy and Saturn energy. And Tauruses are good because they're earthy, they're homey, they're such great hostess of the mostest, but they can also be stubborn. Like, you're not going to talk a Taurus into doing anything that they don't think they should be doing. That is also going on. So we have a push-pull this whole year going on. Do you know that? Now,
yes, I'm a Taurus.
yes. And but I love Tauruses. My sister is too. So, but looking at a lot of that, we are going to be dealing with a lot of those changes. When you're in that 5th dimension, we are in limitlessness, abundance. We trust. We just know everything's going to fall through for us. And I always tell people, ask for more. Don't ask just for the rent to be paid because you're getting exactly that amount of the rent. You better be asking for more and give them details. And the more you have clarity on what you don't want to know what you do want, then you can open the doorways more. Easier said than done. But our thoughts create our reality. And I do know that from our thoughts create our emotions. Our emotions are our GPS.
Exactly. I have a friend from my shamanic practice class. She messaged in, her name is Elizabeth Vaughn. She said, I would love a reading, but I am driving and cannot dial in. Can you still hook her up?
Okay, yes. Is she able to text in what area she would like that reading in? She's a very busy person, and the first thing they said is she needs a vacation. However, big time, overdue. Don't go into burnout, girl. Is there an area like if she had, because usually when they come in for like a ton of information. Does she have one question in particular that's burning, maybe dealing with health or relationship or her career, something like that? That helps.
Okay, Elizabeth, if you're listening, if you can take a moment to text, pull over and text.
And otherwise they have me shuffling Archangel Michael cards, and I'm just choosing 2 cards because the first thing they said is that she might not necessarily be type A personality, but she's acting like it. All right. And she does have some questions about love and a love relationship is what they said, but I don't know. They said unusual love. And when that is an unusual love, it might be something that could be more like a father, daughter, son, mother, son. It has something to do with maybe a love in an unusual situation is what I'm hearing. So it could be a loved one that's passed on.
Okay. Elizabeth, if you heard that, pull over and text. Let us know.
Yeah. Because they said that she needs to know. I mean, the first thing I got was eternal love, but the angels came right in and said this is an unusual type of eternal love, and that she needs to know that her loved ones on the other side are with her at all times, and she'll hear music to help connect with them, but she doesn't always stop and slow down enough to listen to music. She might actually be listening to the music. And if a music has something to do with angels, they want her to know that that is her symbolism for a loved ones on the other side, like grandparents and a possible parent that's on the other side. But I feel like somebody she knows, their parent died also. So I'm picking up 2, like the radio is picking up 2 things, but her loved ones on the other side are saying that they're great on the other side. She needs to not worry. And I know that she knows that, but she just needed confirmation. Like we know that. If we're in that higher realm and she is a friend and she does healing work is what they said. Does she not? They said yes. She works, she's a healer. Yeah. Very strong healer. She has a lot of dark green energy around her. She's not only healing others, but she has to slow down to heal herself. And sometimes she don't think she need it. But that infinity sign, she needs to take consideration, like not just going out there and helping everybody. And I remember telling you this, she needs to come back and take care of herself so she has more energy to give out to others. And that's what I'm getting right now. The second card I got was you and your loved ones are safe. All right. So that's really a nice card. And the third card I got was she needs to make a commitment because I don't know that she's doing this. The healing work, although she's doing healing work, they're wanting to take her to another level of more trust and open the doorways to more when she's ready, but she's not scattered. She has like 2 things going on. So she's going to have to make a decision to push in more energy in one area than in the other. And it might not happen until another year or 2. So tell her, don't be in a hurry, but just baby step it.
Okay. She also asks, which angels are currently guiding me?
Well, big time Raphael for the healing. Raphael is her biggest angel, her biggest confidant. And then because she has words of wisdom to give to others, important words, it's Archangel Michael. So she's got Raphael and Michael right behind her. And Michael sometimes makes her say things. She says, oops, I shouldn't have said that. But tell her to do it anyway. Say it anyway. Does that help her?
Yeah, she says, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. I'm glad. And tell her to give me a call. I can certainly do a longer time. And, so we'll work out something.
Elizabeth, give her a call if you get a chance. The number is on the show. She's going to repeat it again. And also, too, on Transformation Talk Radio, she's under guests. You can look her name up and all her information is there to look her up there, too.
Thank you.
Definitely. Anybody else, Jacob?
Not currently.
Okay. Well, let's see. Me.
Do you want me to pull 3 cards for you, darling?
Would you please?
Yes, I will. it's kind of funny because although you work with Metatron and Michael, they wanted me to do the crystal and angel cards for you. They told me I needed 4 decks. So I got my 4 decks. I'm always guided as to what decks to use for each individual. And I usually have a good 10 decks that I use all the time. Majority of them are Doreen Virtue's background, even though she had to find a way of getting out of the limelight, and she's still doing a lot for animal rescues in Hawaii.
Awesome.
And I actually met her. That was one of my movements too. I had a one-on-one meeting with her in the bathroom. And she said, honey, you got 4 angels above your head. You're working with kids right now. And we need somebody to take my place because I'm going to retire sometime. So you need to start writing your books and doing your talks on angels. Little did I know I would be doing that 18 years after I met her.
Cool.
And that was when I went to a little expo, and there she was, and I didn't have the money as a single mom to try and go there. And she said, I don't want you ever to take any one of my classes. You have more connection with the angels than anybody I have ever. She said, anybody that's in some of my beginning classes. She just wanted me to carry on. Cool. And she had no clue that I was a teacher. And then I was the one that told her to. I said, my daughter likes fairies, and I know you're an angel lady, but if you could do something with fairies, my daughter would appreciate it. Oh, and by the way, I think you're going to do something with mermaids and unicorns. She goes, yeah, it's right up here. I said, okay, thank you. I will buy them when you get done with them. And those are the cards that I bought for my daughter.
Cool. I have her, okay. I have her Archangel cards, and I have her Romance Oracle.
Yes. I think I have almost every deck that she's ever made for some reason.
Yeah, I have another one, but I haven't opened it.
Oh, it's okay. I don't even know if you can get them anymore. And I do know that I used a majority of her tarot decks and taught with her tarot decks. Her power deck was the one I always took to the fairs. But everybody has to find what they connect with. There's so many different oracle cards out there. Colette Baron Reed is a good one that has nice decks. There's a lot of people, and I would say, whatever you align to. I usually teach from my tarot class from the original Rider Waite, but I always encourage others to. You have to be the one to feel it. Usually the bright colors with the bright reds and greens and the golds and the black and the whites that stand out. Usually that person is very feminine, and they need to be drawn to that strong masculine energy to build their confidence. And some of the readers that are very strong, confident male energy, they need softness with pastels or circulars. You've seen sometimes for a while there's a bunch of oracle cards coming out in circles with mother, in the pastel colors. So it's just whatever you're attracted to. So now the first card I get, which I love, is the Opal card. All right, I'm going to show it to you, and then I'm going to read it. Isn't that beautiful? Yes. They said you need to carry opals more, and it says you are guided to be bold and show your bigger than life side to the world. You're doing that now. Let yourself sparkle and shine. And they said, I also am getting that moonstone as well as opals would be 2 good crystals to wear to connect, because we are moving into the Aquarius age, which is more not patriarch, but matriarch, a mother energy. And don't be surprised if more of the feminine energies will be coming to you. And opals as well as moonstones bring in that feminine energy, and rose quartz. So, but they said the opal is there, and yeah, you already know you need to step up. You already know that you're stepping out. What I'm hearing is no holding back, girl. You held back way too much of your life. When did you start this? Like 3-4 years ago? And I'm like so impressed that most people are like, no, you have to do your time. I was like, people didn't know anything about you. You've already done your time for a good 20 years before you got to the point of finally opening up the doorway and not being afraid of what others thought.
Exactly. Yeah.
Me, I just did it in 2 different ways. And finally, when I retired, the kids, I have teachers. I still do readings for teachers. They've never left me. Okay. But it's one of those things where they're like, well, you're going to be so bored. What are you going to do? I'm like, oh, no. I have a whole nother job on the side I've been working on for 20 some years. I know I'm just going to open that up. And definitely it did. Now, the next card I got, which is, we all know, and this is happening with you, is Heightened Intuition. Mm-hmm. This is the year that as we go from 2020 to 2030, we are going through what I call a stairway to heaven. So every year we're doing a stairway of now going to the next level, that our gifts from God, hearing, seeing, feeling, and knowing, are going to be going up. So yours is feeling, yours is seeing, yours is knowing. Do you also do the hearing? Because I thought
Yes.
you did also. So they said your 4 gifts are going up. This is be extra aware of your inner knowingness, as it is trustworthy. And this is just a verification. And what is the stone I said you needed?
The opal.
Moonstone.
Oh, the moonstone.
Opal. Yeah,
Cool.
now it's the moonstone. Okay, wasn't I just talking to you about you need opal and you need moonstone, and I just pulled the moonstone.
Awesome.
You can't make this up, girl.
No,
okay.
You cannot.
Now we always trust the cards, but we don't always trust who's giving the information from the cards. And you need to always walk around at the fairs, really do that connection. Always know that you'll be going to someone that has already just gone through what you are going through now. We always look forward to teachers that have already learned what we are trying to learn at that moment. So we are not always for everyone at the fair, even though you say, I'll do a reading for anyone. I always ask for guidance above, that the angels bring the right people to me, that I am one level above them to be able to help them. And if I'm not, then please keep searching to find somebody that is.
Yeah, I usually do call the people that need guidance and
always
support that want to come, that can be drawn to me. And that's usually what happens.
Well, it's always, it is always that way. Now, how do I say it? Sometimes we outgrow people, and sometimes we say the same thing over and 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 over again. But we have to understand that's just where they're at. And if they don't want to move on, then that's where they're going to keep repeating their lessons. Usually means they're still stuck in the 3D level, third dimension, and they haven't really changed their thoughts.
Got it.
So
guess
and
what?
You can't get them to what? You get somebody?
Savannah just got Facebook message and asked, "What stones do I need?" My daughter Savannah.
Need? Okay, and then I have to show you your last little card here.
Okay.
I really get turquoise, which is really interesting. And they said because of what she's doing, she needs something that is going to ground her. Hematite can do that, but I also would suggest obsidian and onyx, shungite, jet. What are the other? Tourmaline. I went through a lot of them. Anything that is a strong black crystal is what she's needing. Because when she is working with some of these people and in different dimensions, doing hypnotherapy as well as regression work, she's going to need to protect her identity to not go through the rabbit hole with them. Even though I did, because I was one step ahead of them when I did regression to see everything that they saw. And before they saw it, I would say, well, did you like the little ballerina dancers there from Russia? And they're like, how did you know that? Okay, well, I'm one step ahead, seeing in your mind's eye what you see. Nobody has that ability that I know of but me, but it's just one of those things that I built my intuition into that level. But I did not know at the time when I did a lot of that I needed to have carried grounded energy of holding the negativity of what they're going through. And many times we'll carry those crystals to help us open our third eye, which is our amethyst. Obsidian does that, clear quartz does that, and also healing when we're readers at the fairs. But I hear turquoise, and that has to do because she's going to be speaking her truth, and also blue lapis. But they said turquoise works better on her throat at this point in time because it connects her to her heart, because it is green and blue. Therefore, turquoise is for her. Okay, did I answer her question?
I'm sure it did.
Yeah, obsidian is the biggest grounding energy stone I think that she needs. Although I have big chunks, that's a bad word to say, but it's like big honker pieces of tourmaline, of the black tourmaline, that I always carry with me. So
she said, great, thank you, she said.
Oh yeah, and tell her to give me a call, even if she just wants to chit chat.
Okay, Savannah, did you hear that? Chris said to call her.
They're so afraid, like, she's going to charge me. She just wants to talk me into a reading. I was like, well, if I have time, I'll talk. If I don't have time, I won't. But some people are definitely clients and others are not. But I won't just if it goes on 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, I feel like they're trying to suck me dry. Your daughter has never done that. She came, she sat down. She is just an enlightened little being. She just doesn't always believe in herself. And yay, now she does. She just needs to keep going that stairway to heaven. Now, your last card, darling, oh my goodness, I didn't even realize it, is turquoise. And they said spiritual path. So maybe you need this too, because the spiritual, when we carry the turquoise, it means we are combining our heart energy with our throat energy to speak our heart, our love to another. And that's what you do when you do readings. You do heart connected energy to others through your voice.
That's true. Wow.
Yeah. But they said this is spiritual path. Your true beliefs are becoming clearer to you. Doesn't mean it has to be anybody else's. Remember, we all walk with our own beliefs, and it's okay to agree to disagree with others. That's what I taught my AP, advanced placement English classes. But it says your true beliefs are becoming clearer to you, which prompts you to make necessary life changes. And we already talked. Yes, you're getting your house. Yes, you're going to open up that healing center. You need to slow down or kind of pull back on some things. There's a few family situations you want to kind of, they said, get more clarity on or feeling okay with before you're ready to do that. You also have somebody, it could be your daughter, but it might be another family member that will be helping you at your healing center.
Savannah, and I believe Jojo too. My son.
Yeah, they said another family member will be stepping in. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've already talked to them about what I want for the future.
Yes.
Or,
yeah. And
CBO
you have to wait. Yep. And there's something that they have to kind of get in there. In other words, if you ask somebody to help you, they have to free their time up, and they want to know, is it worth their time and energy? Is it something? And you have to feel, is this the right timing for them? Maybe one will start sooner and the other one will join later, but it would be nice if both of them would step in at the same time.
That's great. Thank you so much, Kris, for being on the show. It's been an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
Yes.
Can you just do a connect call with me afterwards so we can get everything straightened up?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead and finish up.
Everybody, thank you again. On my next show, I'm doing a guest show for Dr. Pat on next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Mountain, and it's going to be about karma. So have a great week, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Love and Light with the Crystal Blue Oracle, healing as a tribe and taking responsibility for it. Tune in next time for more powerful conversations spiritually crafted to jumpstart your healing journey so you can own your spiritual gifts, and in turn, shed that light on the people around you so they can do the same. Embrace the confusion, the fear, the strength. Let go of your limiting beliefs. Your healing is in your hands, and it's time to take action. Find your tribe, heal together, in love and light. For more information about Valerie and her services, visit crystalblueoracle.com.